Welcome to another video from Roland Mösel, founder of Plant Engineering Group Earth. Home ownership cheaper than rental apartment. How should this be possible? Because rent of the apartment plus operating costs plus electricity plus fuel for the car are more expensive than loan installment minus the revenues from electricity sales. I hope to realize this, the proof for this until September 2024. I'm just before creating the Gemini Next Generation Incorporated for this purpose, and when all works well, we can show in Unten, Austria, the first model settlement of these houses, and this will prove this theory, or maybe not, but I am working very hard on this. First, the do-it-yourself self-pick-up of the house with carport. These prices are a hope for a stable future. I cannot guarantee that September 2024, when the first example village in Unken will be built, the prices can be this, but I hope this should be true by a stable economy. Just right now we have an unstable economy, so I count with 90,000 euro for the house and 48,000 for the energy system of the house. So the bill is split in two parts. One part is private expenses for the house, and one part is a win-oriented company, and this win-oriented company is sure allowed for pre-value-add tax reduction. This means the company says, oh, I buy now this photovoltaic and I get a bill, and this bill is so much, and then in Austria 20% value-add tax, and then I can claim at the tax office, give me back the value-add tax for this purchase, because it's only for the company, and so I get the value-add tax back, in this case 8,000 euros. The carport is fully for business expenses, because the carport is only here to have 10 kilowatt photovoltaic. We need to mount the photovoltaic in 2.5 meter height, and yes, I can park a car below it, but it's only company expenses. And so we have a total of 90,000 for the house and 60,000 for the energy system, the carport included. And at current situation, this could be a loan installment on 30 years monthly, 377 euro for the house and 253 euro for the carport. And I hope it's possible to tell the finance office, from the lease for the land, 2/3 are for the house private expenses and 1/3 is for the company which generates energy, and so I can reduce taxes. And now I look at what could be a balance for a year for the tax office. Electricity sales 26,000 kilowatt hours at an average price of 20 cents, value-add tax excluded. And when I consume in the house electricity, this is called a private withdrawal. In this case, 7,000 kilowatt hours, only 2,800 kilowatt hours for the house. This includes household electricity, domestic hot water, and room heating. Yes, we have special system to make this at very low consumption. And then the commercial enterprise has revenues and expenditures. in this case I count only the loan and the land lease. And then we have an annual balance of 2,844 euro. Sure, this could be much different. Spot market prices of electricity can go up or down, and something to repair. So it's only, let's calculate is this for the first time. So we have 828 euro per month for loan installment and for the lease of the land monthly. And then we have this company which sells electricity, and every year we have to report the balance for tax calculation and also in Austria for social security calculations. And in this case, it's an advantage that when two people buy a house, that the man with the higher income has the house, and with the lower income has the energy system of the house, because otherwise there would be income tax, but when it's a low income, it's only the social security what has to be paid in Austria. And in this case, I assume 173 euro per month income from the commercial operations. And so at the end, I have this house and all the energy what I can use for 655 euro per month. And this includes about 24,000 kilometers per year in a medium-sized electric car. Here, this is from the Economy Chamber of Austria, a calculator for taxes and social insurance. Social insurance is in Austria a duty. This means when you earn money more than the low border of income, low border is in this case about 570 euros per month, then you have to pay maybe income tax, but sure you have to pay social insurance. And so I calculate one time somebody with 10,000 euro yearly income, oh, so few income, oh, maybe he don't like to work so much, he works maybe only 15 to 20 hours per week for this income, and then the 2,844 euro additional income from the electricity sales come, and this means he pays only social insurance, and from the 2,844 euro there is left after social insurance 2,081 euro per year. So I wrote in the last page 173 euro per month. Let's look when he earns more money, 20,000 euro per year, compared to 20,000 and the income from the electricity sales. In this case, the income tax comes a little bit into play, and he remains with 1,727 euro more than without the electricity sales. And let's make a third calculation with 30,000 euro per year. In this case, the income tax goes up much, and only 1,507 euro remaining. So therefore is the idea that when there are two people buy the house, the one with lower income has the energy system of the house to pay less taxes. Next I go to the pension calculator of the Workers' Chamber in Austria. And first I make a calculation, 30 years long, every year 10,000 euro. And what comes out after this? It comes netto 677 euro pension. In Austria, this is paid 14 times a year. And then I make the same calculation with the additional income from the electricity system. So instead of 10,000, 12,844, and the pension increases to 869 euro netto. Oh, it's a big increase. It's a very good business. And I make the calculation for this. It's 192 euro more per month. Not exactly per month, because it's paid in Austria 14 times a year. They call it vacation money and Christmas money, this additional payout. And so I make the calculation, 192 euro more times 14 payments a year times 30 years. Oh, I get back 80,640 euro. That's great. Oh, why do I calculate 30 years? Pension age is in Austria 65 years, so 95 years. This is a little bit beyond normal life expectation in Austria, but I assume that people living in a Gemini next generation house have much less stress. They can do much more what they like to do. They have to do much less, maybe boring work, only to make a living from it. And so I assume they will live longer than people with much stress. And so I make the calculation for 30 years. Here is another question. Early retirement. This is some special case. You have enough months paid social insurance, but you have not reached 65 years. In this case, it's no problem, because it's on the low border of low income money, which is not special treated. And the next one is, we have reached pension, and what happens when I have the pension and the income from the electricity sales. First major announcement here is you can earn as much money additional to your pension as you like. No problem. The pension remains the same. Only you have to pay taxes and in some cases also social insurance. And in this case, it's below the low border, the income from the electricity system, so we have not to bother about it. And next, I go in the additional money calculator from the workers' chamber in Austria. And the calculation is, I have this 960 euro brutto of pension and additional 250 euro per month. What happens? Oh, nearly nothing happens. I have only to pay about 6 euro per month more income tax. That's really nothing. So I have netto 869 pension and every month 250 euro electricity sales and 6 euro less because I have to pay for this income tax. Now let's make a calculation. What happens if somebody has own house or apartment but no electricity system which makes so much electricity that you can even sell it? In this case, I calculate with not 7,000 but 9,000 kilowatt hour of yearly consumption, because this Gemini next generation house has very special technique to reduce the electricity for room heating and domestic hot water. I have applied for 3 patents about the thermal system of the house, so there is much technique behind it to reduce the electricity consumption for the house. So I calculate 1,113 euro net pension and 270 euro for the electricity, so I should have 1,383 euro of net pension to have the same living standard. And I tested several numbers in the calculator and it showed up, instead of 10,000 per year, 21,000 per year over 30 years to accomplish this. Nearly more than the double income is required to reach this target. It's very hard. And then next calculation. Same standard of living in a retirement with a rented apartment without electricity generation. In this case, I take the same calculation as before and additional 700 euro rent per month. And so the net pension has to be 2,083 euro per month. And for this, I would have to earn 30 years, 36,000 euro. A big jump up. So the next generation house would make it possible to earn much less money, maybe by working less hours per week, and have a very nice life. Now let's see what costs the same when you don't do it yourself, but you have a turnkey house. Yes, you pay it, somebody comes and says, here is the key, that's your house now. In this case, I calculate 30,000 euro more for the house. It's now 120,000 and 18,000 euro more for the energy system. This increases the expenses for the business enterprise. And so I have, instead of the 2,844, only 1,994 euro income per year. And with the same tax situation as calculated last time, I have an income of 121 euro per month from the energy system, but I have to pay now 1,027 euro per month for loan installment and lease of the land, and I remain with 906 euro per month to pay. Yes, a little bit more, but it is also possible. Now let's talk about luxury. What is this and what has it to do with luxury? This here is part of a garage door. And why should somebody make an insulation for a garage door? Because he heats the garage. Yes, we are here at a heated garage. This is a big advantage for electric cars. Lithium batteries should not be charged below 0 degrees Celsius because this reduces very much the life of a lithium battery. Lithium batteries therefore has to be warmed up. This makes the car automatic before they can be charged. And also, this is at recuperation. This means you go downhill or you de-accelerate. And in this case, an electric car make recuperation. This means the engine is now a generator and puts electricity into the battery of the car, but this is not possible below 0 degrees Celsius. And so this is not a normal garage. This is a garage with floor heating and good insulation to use very few energy for this comfort. And imagine your neighbor visits you and you have in your house 24 degrees Celsius. Oh, so warm. How can you afford it? I freeze at home at 70 degrees Celsius because in Europe the gas prices had gone so much up. I cannot afford more. And you say, 70 degrees? I have heated my garage only to 14 degrees Celsius because I'm not an energy waster. 14 degrees Celsius is enough for the garage. So this is much more comfort, and this much more comfort costs money. In this case, 20,000 euro more. The rest of the whole system remains the same, only we have here 20,000 more private expenditure for the garage. The rest is also at the energy system, the 10 kilowatt on the roof of the garage. And so the monthly loan installment increases to 1,110 euro per month, and the revenues of the energy system remains the same, 121 euro per month. And so we have now 989 euro per month to pay. It's now at luxury. We have a heated garage. And still we have very low cost for all this luxury. Let's hope it will be real in September 2024. Then I can show real prices. These are only hopeful prices. This was another video of Roland Mösel, founder of Planetary Engineering Group Earth. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when I make my next video.